Greetings, architecture students. Thank you for tuning into my video, and please click on the like button down below this video, and that will help this video get out to more architecture students and other viewers. This tutorial is going to be about how to manage visibility graphics in Revit. It is an objective covered in the Revit user certification test. Okay, and like always, Autodesk does not support this channel nor any of its content. Let's get started by using the columns project that we created in the previous video. And if you did not watch the previous video, you can use any file you have with columns in it, because that's what I'm going to be working with. Or if you just want to, follow along and you don't even have to use columns, you can use something else in your drawing. But if you didn't if you want to see the columns video, go back, or actually I'll leave a link below this video so you can get to the columns video, and then you can create the same thing and then come back and view this video. But anyway, I'm going to use the south view of this drawing to play with the visibility graphics. So we're going to go over here into the what is this? The properties panel, and click on visibility graphics. And in here, of course, you can do many things. You can go in here and associate things by model categories, annotation categories, analytical model categories, and even if you have imported files and things like that, you can go over there and change the visibility of those. But here you also have the ability to turn on and off different viewings. If I wanted to turn all my columns off, I could click on that check mark and then hit apply, and my columns would disappear. But we don't want to do that. We want to turn columns on so that we have columns to work with. There's also a little, looks like a plus mark out to the left of all of your categories. And if you click on that, it will show you other things that are underneath of it in a hierarchy that you can click on, turn on and off, or change the overrides for. But here we just have hidden lines, so we're not really too worried about that. It's not going to really be applicable with what we're doing. Let's see. So I'm going to be working with columns, and I'll adjust my picture. Let's see if I can adjust this. I can't really adjust it back here, but you can still see the columns right here. So you can see what happens to them as I adjust them. So on the columns row, okay, right here, I have some empty boxes out beside that row where I can do things. And those are separated by columns that say like lines, so I can do something with the lines. I can also do something with the patterns, with the level of transparency. I could also go into the cut pattern and change the visibility characteristics of the cut object as well, which we're not going to mess with that in this video. Then there is the halftone, so I can make those columns show up by halftone, clicking right here and then click apply. And you see now they're kind of grayed out just a little bit. I'm going to turn that back on. And I can also detail level. Okay, right now my detail level is set just by default. It's set by whatever I have down here in the corner. And I'm going to click on that detail level. Well, I can't do it right now. I'll do it in just a minute. But I can actually change this to where it's just, by the columns themselves. Let's actually go ahead and change the columns to fine. And that way we'll see all the overrides in very great detail. And we'll apply that. Okay, so going back to the columns row and in the lines column, I'm going to click on the empty box, and it gives me what you see right here, these override buttons going all the way across. I'm going to click on override. The first thing I'm going to do, or the first thing I have an option to do, is work with the pattern of that line. So I can actually click on the drop down, and I get every pattern, every line pattern available in Revit. So let's just say, for instance, I use a center line. I wouldn't normally do that, but let's just see what it looks like. The next option is to change the color of those lines, and we're going to change those colors to red, again, just to see what those look like. And then there's line weight. Okay, so I can actually make that, let's say, a number 5. Okay. And once I make all those changes, I can click on OK and then click on the Apply button, and you can see how that is applied to my columns. And now they are just center lines, red, and of a number 5 weight. The next column of adjustments we can make is under patterns. These are pretty cool. Okay, so if I click on the override here, the first thing I get is the foreground, either visible or invisible. And we're going to have it visible so we can actually see what it does. Under that, I can change the foreground pattern. And let's say we go down here and they are columns. We'll just make them out of wood. Okay, so there's our wood pattern. And I can actually change the color of that. So pick something that contrasts with red, say green, and click OK there. And then there's the background color, or the background pattern and color. It is currently visible, which we want to leave it that way. We can change that background pattern. Let's change it to concrete. Okay. And then, of course, the color of that. Let's make the concrete pink. Okay, and that way we'll be able to definitely see it back here. And then after you finish doing that, you just click OK and click Apply, and you can see now I have these colored patterns with pink and green inside of my columns. Then we have transparency. So I'm going to click on that again, on that empty box, and click on Overrides. And it just gives me one option, which is to change the transparency level. And the lower the number, actually, the higher the value of the shade or whatever, the color and everything. And the higher the number, the less the value. Okay, so basically it's making it more transparent. So if I go over here to 73, click OK, then click Apply, you can see how, well, it didn't affect the color that well. Let's go and change it to 100, okay, and Apply. Okay, don't ask me why it doesn't make all that disappear. I guess maybe it just makes the column disappear and not the patterns that are on it. I really don't know. But that's basically what that is for. Now, if you want to reset this and reset everything back the way it was, you just click on Clear Overrides, click OK. We're going to go to the colors and we're going to clear overrides, click OK. We're going to go to the line style and we're going to clear overrides, click OK. Then we're going to click Apply. And now everything is back to normal. Now for the visibility, let's see, let me try something real quick. I'm going to change the detail level, and then we're going to go back into visibility graphics. And let me see if I can do something with the roof here. I'm going to go down to the roof. Okay, remember we couldn't get the transparency to work real well on the columns. Let's go over here and turn that transparency up to about 83, and I'm on the roofs row. Click OK, and then Apply. Okay, and you can see, okay, I see what it does now. It goes more or less to a wireframe type of view. I thought it was going to sort of gray it out a little bit, but it doesn't. It just goes to a wireframe. So now I can see the layers underneath. Let's see what happens if we take it back to about 50 or so and then Apply. Okay, and that looks kind of grayed out. I can still see it in wireframe, but all of the underneath, everything that's underneath is like a grayer color. Okay, and we can even go back to about, 27 looks good. And you can see how it even gets less gray. And then, of course, let's just clear that override and click OK and Apply and OK. So that is how you work with your visibility graphics overrides, okay? Everything that you would need to do. So that would, again, appear on the test. So now you should be able to answer that question on the test. Thank you very much for viewing. Okay, I forgot to share with you one thing, and that is, what do they use visibility graphics overrides for? Well, it's pretty simple. Today, especially with the technology that we have, sometimes drafters, designers want to make certain components of, say, a detail, and that's mostly where I've seen it used. I've seen it used in sectional details, but they may want something specific to stand out. So they would actually apply a color or a pattern to it or something of that nature. And so in the detail, everything else would probably be black, and then maybe something else of it would be in color. And of course, there's more than one ways of doing that. There's more than just using visibility graphics to get that done, but that's just one of the things that they do. One of the things that they use it for, just to make things stand out.